Hello and welcome friends to another draft here on Magic Arena. This is Arena Powered Cube. So we're going to be pulling cards like Ancestral Recalls and Mox Lotus. We'll probably maybe see one of those, but we're trying to build a powerful deck in the midst of all of the other powerful cards and everything else everyone else is doing. Anyways, to be frank, the world, there's a lot going on in it right now. A lot is happening in my city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, but this is one way that I find joy is to do something like this for myself, and I hope something similar happens for you. Anyways, let's just dive right in and see what we get. Ooh, this is an interesting one. No power. The cards that jump out to me, I'm not going to be able to read all of them, by the way. There's just far too many cards to be able to hit everything accurately. I mean, Ocelot Pride is a nice little thing for aggro decks. Very, very strong. VV's fun. Atraxa, but I find the Reanimation Atraxa combo not to be fully there yet. I looked at the cards that changed, and my opinion is I don't think it's there. I have to lose to it before I'm going to respect it enough. Like Unmarked Grave, one of the Reanimation cards, you just can't run it with Atraxa, or you can, but it like makes your deck a lot worse. You know, if one of these was a good duel, I could consider that, but maybe I just take Ocelot Pride. Yeah, I don't think I'm unhappy to take that. What else? Nothing else really jumps out as like being screamingly good than the rest. Now pack 2, we have a Craterhoof Behemoth. That's kind of fun. Not that that's as strong, but what else? Enderreal, that makes flyers. Okay, that's not bad. Probably not what I'm picking here. This is a 3-mana 3/3 with Ward, and that it exiles things in graveyards. That's kind of nice. Maze probably, or Mine's probably really annoying to play against. This is part of a combo with Titania or Nadu to be able to target creatures / put lands in the graveyard, but I'm not going to take that this early. This is a fine land. Wasteland pairs probably best with my first pick, but that said, none of these cards are particularly strong. I could take Craterhoof Behemoth. Honestly, I'm not opposed to that. I don't think any of these pull me in a direction. I think Scolding's probably fine, but I mean, we'll take Behemoth. You never know. Well, now we have Remand is the card, one of the cards that jumps out. Shouldered Edict is fine. Deck Faden is a cute card as well. There's Mightstone and Weakstone. This guy, it's kind of fun. Take an Elegant Parlor, but I'm not really interested in a tapped white-green. Oh, so many tap lands. No, man. Okay, what's just the best card in the pack here? I could take Cauldron Complete in case I get the Stoneforge Mystic, which allows you to search it, put it into play. Man, these cards are just sort of really weak. Pillage the Bog. It's like a nice little combo card. I guess I'm just taking a Remand. I just don't think I want... Like, I like Dak. I think Dak is good. But call me a sucker for a Remand. Now we have... what jumps out? A lot of cards. There's an Overgrown Tomb. That's the... and Temple Garden as my fetchables. Chain Lightning. Pyrite Spellbomb. What's this do? Landfall. Adds mana. Second time. It's an elf or elemental. Third. No, that's it. White card. Green. I mean, these are all kind of in a vacuum, just not cards that I'm like in a particular. I'm just gonna take Chain Lightning. I think I could take a Demi, but not in a hurry. We'll say. Okay, this is one of the Reanimation cards. This one does work with all of the legendaries, so it is better. It's essentially Reanimate, but at 2 mana. So that could be interesting. Not really thinking anything else here actually even seems that good, being honest. Sage of the Skies, I guess. Coalition Relic. What are these packs? What cube am I playing? Alright. Oh, wow, that's crazy. See, we go from a pack from that to having... I mean, it must have been really good. Like, there's still Oust, 3 mana or 5 mana to Fairy, and Dismember. Like, this is just one of the top cards you could play. Just fantastic interaction, no matter what deck you're playing. Or, And given our start, I'm kind of not sure where we're supposed to go. The channeler could be good if I end up going reanimation. This is just super speculative. We've taken 5 cards of effectively 5 different colors. Now a colorless card. All right, now we have to command Cobra. Could be kind of cute if I go to that direction. Fresh Start, Treasure Cruise, Hellrider. Not a big fan of Hellrider. I used to love it a lot, but I think the days of that have gone away. Take a Taiga. It's a fetch land at least, or a fetchable, untapped land. Dismember, Fresh Start, Red Green. Curiosity is an interesting one. So is Lotus Cobra. I think I do just take Taiga though. Taiga. Now I could take a Tundra and just have a lot of the fetchables. I'm not a Gargaroth. Yeah, none of these are things that I'm very keen on. Yeah, we're just going to take fetchable lands. Try to stay open, see what happens. And you know what? Truthfully, I don't know what's going on with this draft. There's just something weird. I could be playing like Jeskai. That's not a bad place to go. Like, our lands are kind of supporting it already. At the moment, we have a blue-white duel, so I'll take the blue-red fetchable over the white-red. This seems a little bit stronger, but maybe that's not true. Yeah, maybe I just take the untapped land. I think with Taiga, my land spread is probably sufficient. Notably, it could have taken the Generous Ent. That's kind of a, not a great, but it is a sort of a combo with the Death. Here, I don't like Wandering Emperor. I don't think Anduril. It just seems kind of weak. I'm going to take the Sylvan Safekeeper, just in case we end up getting the other half of that combo. We were kind of, well, I wouldn't say rewarded, but I'm going to take one of these two. I guess the white-red is promising to be maybe potentially a little bit better. No, maybe I take Pillage the Bog. Card can be good. In the right scenario, really. You would obviously just only really play it in combo decks, but, well, I'm sure there's maybe another situation in which you would play it, but I mean, I'll just take the land, I guess. I don't know. The Triumph I'm not interested in. The Verge I'm not interested in, so I guess I'll take Dion. Wow, second to last pick, Oust. People do not want to be white, allegedly. Alright, we have now opened, again, no power this time, but, I mean, you can't open power every time. We have 4 creatures and 5 non-creatures and a lot of lands. Thankfully, not many tap lands. You want to limit how many tap lands you have. But then after that, you know, things kind of get a little bit stronger. So there's Guy's Cradle, but not really what we're looking to do. That would have been like if we'd played Craterhoof, but we're not doing that, of course. So then that leaves us in a position on figuring out what is best. Things that jump out is Flooded Strand, you know, fetch land, kind of opens up all of these colors to us. That's probably the front runner. That said, Hull Breacher is really strong as well as Miscalculation. These 4 cards are what I'm considering. Hull Breacher is just kind of disgusting. That said, this literally gets white, green, white. Actually, it only. Oh, and it gets, yeah, okay. It does get other colors. It just doesn't all get all untapped. Hull Breacher is very nice. Probably should have taken that, honestly. I have some regrets. I think this is fine, though. Yeah, now this pack. What's the best card here? Honestly, it's another fairly weak pack. When you're fielded that in the field of the dead territory, you know you've kind of made some mistakes. So we're just trying to put together a functional deck, knowing that white was weirdly open but not open, and then everything else just didn't kind of get together. That said, we have some things that are good. We have some cheap interaction and an Ocelot Pride and a Remand, and then we're kind of like questioning where we go from here. The Reanimates is not super astounding. I don't really have good ways to cast it at the moment. Maybe I just take Malevolent Rumble. I could take Descendant of Storms. This seems awful, but maybe that's what we do. Yeah, I can't say I'm excited about this position, but Feels like cheap interaction. Well, I'll use a Thoughtseize. That's kind of interesting. There's a Luris. I could Luris, though I have nothing to Luris at the moment, so probably not. Ooh, Broadside Bombardiers. That is a card that is should not be their third pick, first of all. There are a few cards you would take over it, of course, but it's just really insane, so we're going to take that. Thoughtseize is a very solid one, too, that I would not be unhappy to have, but that's life. And yeah, so, all right. Kind of found a lane. Maybe we're Jeskai, maybe we're splashing. I don't know. We'll see exactly what this is, but I will say I'm not thrilled about it. Eagles gets 3 colors, 3 different untapped colors. That said, it's not very good on its own, so I'm not sure I'm super excited by that possibility. I could take Nettle Cyst in case... I was going to say, in case I get Stoneforge Mystic, but I could just cast that normally. Ponder is not really interesting. The other cards aren't particularly interesting either, so I think in lieu of anything else, I'm going to just take the Eagles. What are people doing? Snuff Out in the pack? I mean, I'm not really in a position to take Snuff Out, but it is a strong card. Now we have Samwise. I don't even know what Tempting the Ring does, to be completely honest. I will have to learn that at some point. But is that today? 2 mana, 2/1 flash. Choose a permanent graveyard, return it to your hand, then I get tempted. Can be blocked by creatures with greater power. That's probably what it does. All it does. Seems fine. Yeah. Mistakes have been made. And we are going to just... Wow, Fiery Confluence is a disgusting card. Skull Clamp is also really good too. Joshua, maybe we get Joshua or we get Cosmo Grand Zenith on the wheel. Yeah. Minsc and Boo, 7th pick. I mean, I can splash it. The problem is, should I splash it? Parallax Wave would be a fine card as well. I mean, I literally have the free fixing though. Like, I've untapped from Temple Garden, I have it with Flooded Strand, I have Taiga. Like, I could play Minsc and Boo. And we are looking for good things to do. That is a good thing to do. The other alternative would be like Parallax Wave, which, yeah, technically, in Evora probably would be fine too.
The air is sweet.
Yeah. You know, this seems like a pretty good territorial copy deck. Now, the more that I look at this, Fractured Identity is kind of disgusting. And, I think that's what we're going to take. This is just a very powerful card, kind of on its own, and that's something that I think the deck will very much appreciate having. Here, I could take Robber of the Rich, just have more things that kind of get underneath, and then couple it with like some interaction. Ignoble, or the Minsc and Boo makes me kind of want the Ignoble, but I think that ship is kind of sailed to be like creature-based, or at least green creature-based. Tireless Tracker is nice. This is a cute card as well. I'm going to take Malevolent Rumble. This card is just really good. Give you a second to read that, but it is very solid. This is a Triland, Luris, run. I mean, I'm going to take the Excavator. I don't see myself playing Luris. Certainly not companioning it. Yeah. Vindicate, Zagoth Triumph, turning that into tapped black mana. Seems less good than just playing like a Grim Lavamancer or something. I'll just take that to play it. Spar's Headquarters. This is, I guess Uat, sure. And we did get 2 things back. I think I take the Joshua. Oh, get out of here. God, what are we doing here, guys? Come on. And oh, we did actually open a piece of power. Mox Pearl. One of the better ones for us, too. Honestly, Mox Jet would have been the only actively bad one, though obviously I would still play it. It just would be, you know, if I could choose, you know, if you could choose Mox, you'd be much happier to do that, but otherwise, cards in the pack, Booster Tutor, that's a fun one. You get to just open a pack just like we did right here. in the middle of a game of Magic, you take one of those cards, put it in your hand. Force of Negation, really good counterspell, but we don't really have blue mana that we're looking to do. Honestly, one remand is not a splash make. I guess Fractured Identity keeps that in the world, so we're going to take our Mox and move on. We have, what, one fetch land for this Bristly Bill, so it's fine, but not amazing. Otherwise, what does this one do? This is the 2 mana, and then, okay, that's cute. What else? Maybe it's Bill. I don't know. This deck has certainly come and fallen apart mildly. Well, to put it mildly, Tutor doesn't do much for us. No More Lies. Tribal Flames. Actually, that's kind of interesting. I'm not interested in the tapped lands. Godless Shrine could be interesting. I don't really have a reason to play black at the moment. But I guess I'll take No More Lies. What a collection of cards I've certainly acquired. Take Lightning Bolt here. Could take Badgermole Cub. This lets me go from turn 2 to turn 3 Minskin Boo. I guess I could just like splash the green and not do what I'm thinking about doing. And just be happy when I cast it. And in that case, I'd be pretty happy to just have lightning bolts and splashing Minskin Boo for when it happens. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, well now we have an interesting pack. I mean, it's very powerful. There's a Balance, a Fury, both very powerful in their own right, so this one is obviously not what we're doing. It's an artifact card. Fury is a free spell, which honestly I might play. I have 19 cards, and I have some number of cards that we could play. So we probably have to take an actual card rather than a fetch land here, which does suck because they are good in the deck. But all that said, we'll take a free card. The more free cards you play, the better. That's what I've always said. Now here, I'm not as into this pack, but it's fine. The Flooded Strand is our only fetch, so Stomping Ground doesn't open up new routes, and not super interested in that. I don't think we need any more to splash. It's going to be really... I think we're okay in that front. I could take Planisphere, I could take Big Year. That's kind of awkward, but I could do it. I don't know. Maybe I just take the cheap creature. Hope that that's enough. Lingering Souls has me regretting slightly more some of my choices, but not by that much. Carnosaur, discard this 3 mana, it does 3 damage. That's cute. Sentinel. It's fine. Blue-White Talisman is kind of fun. But I think I just take maybe a Thalia. I don't know. I feel like mistakes have been made. Take an Adelaide or a Plateau. I guess I take Plateau here. Adelaide would be good, but this is probably one of the better lands to have picked up here. Galvanic Blast with not a ton of artifacts, but creatures are creatures. Now I could just grab a Swift Spear. Kind of this 3-color, 4-color-ish nonsense. I have a Tundra, I have a Plateau, so I don't need the Hollowed Fountain to splash. Correct, though probably unwise. If I do that, our deck is still probably fine. Cloud doesn't do too much. Lion Sash, sure. Well, now I can take an Elite Spellbinder. Sure. Giver of Runes, Sacred Foundry. Well, how many cards do I... Okay, 24. I do have enough playables in 3 colors. White, red, splashing green. Take Giver of Runes. Winds of Abandon, Endurance. Probably not playing any of these. Okay. Well, a lot of the cards I was considering playing Wield, so... think I just take the figure here. Lingering Souls would have been fine if I picked up that Godless Shrine, but did not, so that's okay. Yeah, this is not how I expected this draft to go. I thought I was going to end up being more white-blue, you know what I mean? The moment, I'm actually still happy to play Minsk and Boo, but maybe I don't have to. If I just do this, well, pretend this is all of my non-lands. It's like maybe a bit much, right? Maybe I wouldn't play the Eagles here. That's about it. And we just have like an okay white-red aggro deck. I feel like that was a magic trick. I'm building this crazy four-color nonsense, and I'm like, well, if I actually just take out all the nonsense, I just have 2 colors. Huh. How about that? Well, how about that indeed? I mean, Minsk and Boo is crazy. Like, why did I get that so late? But, you know, I'm imagining that I will win a lot more games by simply just going turn 1, Ocelot Pride, Descendant of Storms, and going from there. No point in playing the Tundra or the Taiga. That lets figure be max value. Yeah, really no one was in Boros. It's kind of crazy. Do I want to play Winds of Abandon? I suppose we can consider that. Not playing Fractured Identity, not playing Minsk and Boo. Well, we did end up with a deck, and I am proud of that fact. Dion is on the weaker end. Dismember is golden. The Winds of Abandon is just okay. Like, this is certainly very good. Don't get me wrong. Actually, let's do this. But I'm certainly not cutting any of these cards, like my free spell or my cheap interaction. Okay, I could just cut Light and Sash, actually. Yeah. That's one cut, and then we're playing a Mox Pearls, so we can go... We have a lot more double red than double white, so I think I cut a plains. That gives us 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plains versus 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 red. So our mana fixing is fantastic. Honestly, I might even want to consider like cutting one of these. This is what, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 lands? No, I think we'll keep this. All right, well, take a quick screen cap. I always recommend doing that, though certainly doesn't seem like this deck will care about that. Anyways, let's see if we can't get some Boros beats going on here. I hope you've enjoyed the draft so far, watched myself panic over what deck I'm building. And yeah, we don't have any white sources, but we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 white sources, so it's not crazy to draw it. And a hand of land figure lightning bolts. That is kind of tempting. And if we eventually draw the planes for Parallax Wave, obviously this card is very good. And if we hit 1 planes, we can abandon or Spellbinder. So I think I start off going Figure of Destiny. On the play, I think I do have better turn 1s, but I think it's okay. That said, if they just kill my figure, we do not have particularly much going on. Hellrider is a card. I guess we'll take that. Thalia, huh? Okay, well, we're in kind of a land waiting room. Drawing 4-drop, 4-drop was funny to say the least. Ugh. Yeah, 5 4-drops, or 4 4-drops is kind of a lot, but that literally it's 4 4-drops, and we have 3 of the 4. Why do I have a... I don't really understand why I have priority here. Hey, look at this thing. I guess I could give Rev runes. Sure. On my behalf, it was greedy to keep that, but I also had like Swift Spear, Robber of the Rich, Grim Lavamancer, Bromadiers, like a lot of cards that I could have just. That's a tough one. Okay, okay, you're very pretty. I'm just off of it. Red White's playing against a deck that doubled up on Comet. I'm gonna move on to the next one. I don't think there's none of this stuff seems pretty good. Versus an active Planeswalker that I cannot kill for many turns. Save myself some stress equity. Move on to the next game. I don't like to concede too early, though. I will say I generally try to let it fight out, but especially when I'm in Boros and I'm that far behind, that one feels fairly awkward. Here's an awkward one. My one tap land in the entire deck. And it is the most important one to have played here. I guess I can do better. Oh, well, there we go. Lion Sash, you say. This is a 1 mana or 2 mana 1/1, and you can pay white to exile permanents. If it was white, or rather, if it was a permanent, it gets a counter, which is nice. So clearly, we just go. Path, Portable Hole. And Subtlety with no blue card. They have a third land, a Sage of the Skies. Lion Sash. So I'm going to take one of these two, more than likely. I'm not really worried about Sage, nor Subtlety. I guess I'm going to take the Path. No, the Portable Hole. This at least gets me a land. They can still cast it either way. I guess on one hand, they could never cast Sage of the Skies. See, the fun thing is I can oust. So I think we just go to attacks first. Player land. Get in there. I mean, they can't currently kill my Dion, so I think I just cast that. If they drew a blue spell, good on them. Yeah, I mean, they probably are planning to Path plus Sage, is my guess. Okay, well, so now we're definitely going to just attack both. And then just dismember. Oh. They went for the trade, which is A-okay with me. Could have given it protection from Sage of the Skies, but I think I'd rather keep it around. And I guess on that note, then there's no reason they would double block. They would just clearly have done that. Though, that said, I don't know, maybe it was better to do something else. Lavamancer not looking like it's going to accomplish too much. But it depends on how much white mana they leave untapped. Reconfigure is an interesting one. What is this? Okay. Choose up to one creature spell or planeswalker. I don't think that's going to work the way they think that that's going to work. Yeah, my guess is they thought they could just do that. Sure. They can't attack you. So no reason to do anything at the moment. Okay. Surveil Winds of Abandon is kind of cute. So I think I'm incentivized to bin that. Just so I can oust the subtlety, force them to redraw it. Then we get to Grim Lavamancer with the Lion Slash, exiling the 2 cards before they have a chance to get it back. And then we just say screw you to your last thing. It's kind of a weird one. I wonder what the right choice would have been. I guess if I hit Sage of the Skies, they're just not casting that for a long time, and I feel like dealing with their cheap interaction is for the best. Maybe Path would have been better, though I feel like then they just Portable Hold the Giver of Runes for very cheap, so incentivize them to use the actual good removal spell on one of my big creatures, like a Dion or, I guess, the Spellbinder. Given how that went, I think I'm going to make one quick swap here. I want to make one extra plains and one less mountain. I don't like to reactively do stuff like this, but you know what? I do have a number of like 1, 2, 3 things that would be just fantastic on turn 1, whereas for red, it's only what? With Spirit, and even that's not astounding, so balancing it out a little bit feels correct. Alright, found a match. This hand is kind of interesting. I think it's fine. Like, Dismember's pulling some weight, and then Adversary with a Fury. I have a lot of red cards I could draw, so that might be free. So if it's a creature-based deck, I think I'm very in good position, but if not, well, we're in quite for a bad time. Overgrown Tomb. Well, we did draw a 1 mana play. On the flip side, it would have been our red spell for Fury, but black, green, Mountain. Kill my Lavamancer. Virtue, okay. We just play our 3-1 for 2. Hope that is good enough. Demonic Tutor. Hopefully it's a value Demonic Tutor. Maybe they're getting Alana War Elves? I don't know. Wishful thinking. That said, one good reason to get rid of Virtue is this does exile cards from my graveyard, though clearly that's not that important. What's my best draw? I guess Bombardiers, Pyromancer, Spellbinder. All of those would be fairly decent. Ocelot Pride. No. Oh, well. There we go. get in for 3 first, before we reveal any additional information. Now let's see what they're working with. They got reanimates, bitter triumph, and phantasmal image. I mean, I guess as it sits, their reanimate is probably the most annoying. Honestly, I'm kind of curious what you would say. I guess no, they don't. They do have the mana to Grim Lavamancer, but I have removal for that, so I'm not really worried about any of these creatures. So what I do think I take is the Bitter Triumph. And take is a stretch. Obviously, I'm just making it more expensive. No, we did draw. Well, actually, that's really good. So I think I Seasoned Pyromancer, discarding Dion. Fury, I think, will be fine next turn. So we were 1 mana off from just casting this. Just Dion. No, I kind of want to hit him for 6. And then they're going to reanimate it, probably, maybe. And Phantasmal Image, one of my things. I could just Fury right now. Discarding the Pyromancer. Cast Dion. And then if they reanimate or Phantasmal Image, Dion or that, they still have 8 power on the board they have to deal with. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that seems pretty good. They don't have a ton of great moves here. Well, actually, they could reanimate Fury. You know, I didn't consider that. Oh, that's actually really bad. Oh, okay. Well, if they do that, they take 4 damage, or 5 damage. They go down to 8. They kill Adversary, Binder, and Warrior. Then I attack them in the air down to 5. Maybe. Go for Bitter Triumph, discarding a card. Then they do Fury. Oh, no, they messed up big time. Okay. So you're saying there's a shot. Alright, well, they need something else here. We are out of things to do, and I might as well just play my land. There's no value out of it. Wow, had they gotten Fury? Ooh. Galvanic Blast. Okay, well, they have 1 turn to draw something. I guess I should be holding on to that for Joshua purposes, but exactly 1 card they can get, and if they do removal, fair enough. Okay, well, we're going to hold on to lands. Deathrite Shaman? Sacrifice it, get it Elegy Acolyte? Yikes. Alright, well, we officially have a problem. That's, So, So, okay. Winds of Abandon lets me blow up both of their things. However, it does allow them to cast Virtue of Persistence, which means I have exactly one turn to draw something. Obviously, that's very good for them. Maybe they don't have that many basics. I'm not going to hold my breath, but... if they only have one basic, it's not the end of the world, but I'm just going to assume that they, yep, have all of the things. And again, for the same purpose, we are going to hold on to the land for Joshua. I have two cards that just win the game with Fiery Confluence and Grim Lavamancer. Parallax Wave, if they reanimate Virtue of Resistance, actually would be kind of nice. Soren, Markov, sack it, get something back. That doesn't seem very good.
End soon enough.
There it is. That's why Broadside Bombardiers is a busted card. Look at that. It threw my land at their face for 2 damage. Slash, it just did 2 damage because they can't block. Yeah, you know, I don't hate playing Sauron there, actually. It means, like, they don't die to, like, a Robber of the Rich, or I guess a Hellrider, even. Interesting. But obviously, they're still dead. They were still dead to, like, a few things. What they should have done, absolutely, was reanimate my Fury. Like, that would have just destroyed me. Instead, they went for a slightly different line, and I don't think it was terrible, but like, losing the extra life was important, and the Acolyte was good synergy, and it did have lifelink. So it does have some good stuff going for it, but my board would have been decimated. They would have had a 3/3 death or a double strike, which would have been kind of difficult to deal with. Winds of Abandon earned its keep that game. It's kind of how I pictured that card playing out. Yeah, fascinating game. Definitely don't think I always play these particularly optimally, but... oh, this is juicy. This is... now this is pod racing. And they're on a mulligan too? Yeah, see, this is why, like... I'm playing 4 cards on the first turn of the game. If they Fury me, that's... or Pyrokinesis, like, that's kind of all I got going on. You know? But, you know, assuming they don't, this is, like, kind of insane, because I have a choice to do a couple things. We're going to do this first. I think that just makes the most sense. They can Spellbinder me back, which doesn't matter. Let's just make Flyer to Sheikah's Chariots. They don't have the mana to do the Chariot at the moment. Not like that's very far away. And this lets them... yeah, just take the Adelaide, I guess. Like, this just kind of let them block on the ground very effectively. And now they're not sitting in a particularly strong position. Well, that's not true. If they play land, Ashika's Chariot, they get some 2/2s. I think I just put a cat like a dude. That tells me that this is probably not a land. Otherwise, they would make this block because they have the ground blocker the following turn. Well, now they do get to go Chariot. Kind of curious. Yeah, Lavamancer is not bad, but it leaves a little to be desired. That can't have reach, can it? And then I think I hang on to the land. I mean, I'm already at 4 mana, and then 5 mana is just not an important number. If I draw Dion, I'll make that change, but I'm going to hang on to these because I have 2 creatures that discard 2 when it enters. Now they're going to Fractured Identity, maybe? Yeah, Fury would be a nice draw. Or actually, sorry, Hellrider would be a nice draw. I don't think they've got the flexibility to do too much. So I'm definitely going to be... Well, oh, that's funny. They could have made a copy of Spellbinder. You got me, I guess. Yikes. Where is Dion, actually? Pretty good card. So I have them at 6 life. Dion and the 2/2 attack them down even less. It's going to be a good chump blocker for that. Why did this get a +1/+1 earlier? Oh, Exalted, of course. From the Noble Hierarch. 15? Well, the Monastery Swiftspear is never going to get in. They can't attack with Flyer. The 2/2 would be a chump attack, so... if they target the flying token, actually, yeah, I probably am supposed to just shoot that. Yeah. What you making a copy of, my friend? Shoot the Spellbinder. Chump the Chariots, and then I guess eat the 1/1. And now we're kind of close to killing them on the swing back, so... Kind of a big deal that they missed there. Can I kill them? Kill the Adelaide. Attack. For 1 on the ground. So that actually doesn't quite work. We're 1 point short here, I think. Right? Bring them down to 5. Down to 3. And then Grim Lavamancer with the Dismember afterwards, them to dead. So, thinking about on the attack back, they attack me for 5, well, some very big things, and I'm going to be chumping at least one of these things, taking 2, 4, 6. Not lethal, I think. Certainly close. I guess I could consider... Beyond? Would that have been lethal? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Not quite. That's a thing I could consider next turn. That would give 3 of my creatures flying, but... basically what we're going to end up doing here is chumping probably with both the Lavamancer and the Spirit Token. They have priority because of the Chariot. We go to 3. I guess I could have played my land. That was harmless, but We're not dead to a single removal spell, I don't think, but that would be a tough one to come back from. So I guess they'd have to kill the Dion. Or me. Like, obviously, they could just kill me, too. This is, like, 4-color value? I'm not really sure what their deck is. Their main thing is here. Maybe they kind of happened like me. They just had to play a bunch of cards. They got because they prioritized land fixing right away. Especially the untapped green variety. Utaxium Probe. Wait, did they not just kill themselves? Yeah. They did that without even... Oh, they somehow accidentally paid life instead of paying for blue with the Hierarch. Because that means I just got to do this. So what was going to happen was they were going to maybe crew this, maybe play a creature. Let's assume they play a creature and that can crew this, which not all of them can do that, but there are enough. So they attack with a 4/4. This gets chumped for sure. These two get chumped and they attack for 6, which is not enough to kill me. 7 with the creature from this. So it would have had been very good because I can then just dismember something, then Grim Lavamancer them directly. But we take those. We absolutely take those. That was a disgusting turn 1, too. And then we just didn't really have much to follow it up. I think I stand by my choice to Spellbinder when I did, getting rid of the Adelaide. That card was going to be a problem whenever it came down. Them choosing to copy the Spellbinder was a mistake because it gave me a free target for my Lavamancer. Like, that's something that I would have been happy to kill anyway. So if they made like a 2/2, you know, that could have been better. I don't love wins, and Dion has been very good to us, but this is a slow hand with very little interaction. And I think we can do better. Yeah, it sounds fantastic. Keeps this, maybe discard 3rd land, because right now we operate quite nicely with 2. Hellrider obviously is not unhappy to see lands, but that's going to be true for most of our cards. So this gets... Turn 1, it plays the Giver of Runes. Turn 2, it plays the Lavamancer, and we can get the what do you call that? The Surveil land. So I think we're all right with this. Well, I mean, a 4-drop is certainly a thing to have drawn. I swear I'm not playing that many. But it really feels like it sometimes. Another Virtue, obviously a very good card. Play the Lavamancer, play a fetch land, which obviously powers up the Lavamancer. And of course we are incentivized to surveil into the graveyard if that's the case, but you know, if there's just a land on top, I'm probably going to keep it. I would probably bin Dion. Cecil, huh? Okay. Not really what I thought the deck was going to be, I'll be honest, but it's okay. Descendant of Storms. Is that worth keeping? Next turn I play Descendant plus Dismember Cecil. Attack? No. Next turn I get to attack. They have 3 cards in hand. Man, it's close, but it just does not seem very good, I'll be honest. Let's just kill the thing. Before it gets too big. I have no graveyard shenanigans. Just double checking. I don't believe so. That is correct. Anything that's in there is, it's gonna stay there. Nadu? Alright, I could have kept the third land, but drawing every 4-drop in the deck is certainly a choice. I'm not going to concede, but this is not a feeling that of... It's not a bonita feeling. Trample and lifelink, I will just concede to that. I'm not... At this point, I'm not beating that. They figured out they could re-equip. Gaining 4 life is not how this deck is going to win. Nadu? Cecil, Nadu, Planisphere? That was unexpected. I was expecting, like, Time Walk with, like, Tameo or Eternal Witness. Like, that was kind of what I was expecting. Not Nadu. Fair enough. Good beats. Nadu is a crazy card. Basically, they can equip themselves and then draw an extra card or two every turn. That was obviously, like, that was not even the part that I was conceding to. I was conceding to the fact that they were going to gain 4 life, and I had 0 interaction for it at that point, and I just used probably my only really effective way. I did have an oust, but again, giving them 4 life plus 3 life when I've got literally nothing else going on, and it would require me to have drawn a card that also would continue me doing nothing else. Just didn't feel like a productive use of my time. And, you know, that's okay. That is okay. All right, we've got another game. Hopefully we can turn one multiple things yet again. Well, we can't quite do that, but this hand is quite good, obviously. Opponent decides to mulligan, and we are going to keep. So if I play turn 1 Giver, we can activate it on turn 2, but if we don't play it, we only get it on turn 3, which is a solid mark worse. More or less just trying to cast it before our opponent plays any of their cheap interaction or has access to their expensive interaction. Like, this card just shuts off, like, Fractured Identity and some other really good things. Fast Spawn on a mulligan, though? And they're going to lose some free life for us? Well, okay, say less. Thanks for the free damage, friend. Surrock. I will let them draw a card. I have to attack through that anyway, so whatever. They draw a card, we kill their thing, we get an extra damage out. In the end, I think it's okay. Got them to 15. They have 2 cards. I mean, Fast Pawn is a very strong card. It lets them play extra cards each turn. And at the cost of taking damage. Now, there is a card that says, not that, but it. Now, this is where the cost of me doing the thing. Yeah, that didn't bite me. I could oust a token. Sorry, my brain's being very scattered. To finish the thought before I go crazy here is... Oh man, I totally lost it. Regardless, what are they doing? They're green-ish? Not really sure what's going on here. Grist can sack a creature to destroy a creature or planeswalker. At the moment, that would just be able to be the giver of runes. I could oust the token. I don't really want to give them the life. But I guess I could just do that. I don't really have much of a choice. I guess I'm probably just supposed to Fury. As much of a pain as it is. Yeah, just get out of here, man. No one likes you anyways. If I had any other creatures kind of going, like that were actual threats, I don't know, maybe I would go down that route. I get the Surveil land here, which is kind of nice. Keen-eyed Curator. I can oust that, but obviously I'd prefer not to. Wait, I actually wanted that. I should have thought about that for more than a second. You know, I'm still okay with this. So if I put it second from the top, they get it if I just cast Robber. Land, creature, instance, Planeswalker. So they definitely can activate that this turn. Though, that said, I'm not super afraid of a Curator. And at this point, we're just going to get in there. Give it protection from green. Obviously, Fury would have been kind of nice to kill the Curator, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. My guess is they end up attacking me for 7, but maybe that's not true. They do have to commit 1 mana on their turn to make it a 7/7. Yeah, they definitely have the combo. Barrelgoyf? Yikes. Well, they can't mill my graveyard too deeply. Yeah, definitely. No blocks there, sir. So they can certainly sack their lands if they would like. That doesn't feel like a winning line, but it is a line. So they're going to sack down to 2 lands here. Now, I guess I could have gotten rid of the safekeeper first, but not really sure what they're doing. Maybe they're just not really sure why the priority is the way it is. So if I do this, I can just attack for 4 here. So I'm going to go to 1, possibly. But nothing risked, nothing gained. Am I stupid? Did I just lose? I think I did. I did. Yeah, I was supposed to only attack with 1 of the 2. Strip mine? Yeah, man. That's tough. Ah. I gotta stop playing at midnight. Well, regardless, it was a fun deck. We had some interesting decisions to be made at the draft. Never really got the Ocelot Pride fun going, but that's a pretty good card too. We ended up drawing Giver probably more than we should have. It's worse than Mother of Runes, and I probably had the opportunity to play that at some point. But we just ended up with kind of a samesies Boros deck with a lot of good interaction. And we just saw some disgustingly late like parallax waves. Like, they didn't really make Boros that much weaker. Dion was kind of mediocre. Actually, that's not totally the whole truth. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. We could have had Minskin Boo if we wanted, and maybe that was better, but I felt like the consistency is kind of the big thing you get out of playing an aggressive deck like Boros. We kept, we took some cards kind of speculatively, seeing if we would get kind of that kind of going, but never really ended up going that direction. And it is disappointing, but I will say, I hope you enjoyed my way of unwinding from what was a very stressful day, as one might imagine a person living in Minneapolis, Minnesota on January 7th was. So, regardless, I hope you're doing well for yourself. Hopefully, you're taking care of the important things in your life and you're looking out for those close to your heart and for those people in your own community. Spread love, not all the good hate that's going around these days. And with that, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.